Wednesday. I am so excited for this live. Listen, I got a filter on because today, my hair not done right now. Hi, Ruth. Hey, girl, Key.
Hi. Hey, girl.
What it do, Key?
What is okay? Here we are with the vibes. Hold
Girl,
on. Let me
y'all
get into the
vibes
vibes. Stop playing with me. Hold on. Let me get the vibes going. Okay.
I'm like, let me get a little quick razzle dazzle,
A little razzle, a little
to just
glow. You know
chill.
what I'm
Let me
saying?
spruce a little, put a little spruce, little something.
I love it. I love it. I love it. How are you? I feel like I haven't physically seen you in so long.
So long since, I was still doing hair at my mom's house. That was, oh my God,
That
like
was
20.
probably like 2016, 2015, worst years of my life, probably.
Oh my God.
And so I just remember coming and getting my two braids,
Yep, yep.
and like, I just remember that. And it's been so long. And even when you were here in Atlanta, like our schedules, we couldn't align, but I'm so happy that you reached out because I just felt like this was perfect. I was like, who better to go live with than Sade? So super proud of you, by the way.
Thank you. Likewise, girl. Like, I told you already on text, like this was a conversation. When came to the conclusion I was going to do these lives, you were one of the first that I wrote down, like, because like you said, since 2014, 15, 16, when we met, and just your energy's always been good, and then knowing that you're doing hair. Then I remember when you were like the first stylist I seen doing knotless. And I
Yep.
remember, I don't know if you remember, I hit you up.
Asking me to
Yeah, I was
teach, and I was
like,
like, oh, no, I don't know if I'm going to teach, and then I ended up
yeah.
teaching, so I actually remember that. And I was like, I don't know if I'll teach.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, just even thinking about that. I mean, we can get straight into it, but that's even like where I was when you asked about teaching. I was totally in a mindset of lack, and I'm not there anymore. I'm willing to give so much of myself for my purpose. I'll give whatever, I'll share whatever, because I know that was for me is for me. And I also feel like we're here to service others. So just seeing where I was then and thinking about it now, totally different like person. So that's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's just like it's timing for everything. And you made a post the other day. You were like saying like you're a recovering people pleaser. And I've already felt represented by you, like just certain things, because we walk, the same path when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
hair and stuff. And when you put that, I was like, yo, like I I feel it. I talk a lot about that in the book. And it's something to that. And I don't know if all stylists, or braiders feel that way, but I think we all eventually collectively get to a certain point where we're just like, man, I gotta put myself first. So I was
Yeah.
so inspired of by just seeing you, and we'll get more into it
Yeah.
because I have so many questions just about that. But let's
Yeah.
just start off with Key. Who is Key and what does she do? Just tell us more.
So, I'm a child of God first. That's who I am at the core of me. I have all these titles: mom, wife, business on 2 times business owner, retired hairstylist, friend, energy practitioner. You know what I'm saying? But I am an LA girl, and I am a child of God, and I lead with that. I think that sums up so much of me because everything I do is connected to my relationship with God. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think that I had put that in the forefront, even though I was raised in church. I never really put my relationship with God in the forefront of my journey until recently, like maybe the last 5 years or so, because I had no choice, right? And there were pockets of things that happened of time that I looked up because I didn't have anywhere else to look. But now I'm willingly seeking, willingly listening, willingly being obedient. And I mean, my life reflects that, So I am that. And I wish people wellness. Like, that's who I am. Title wise, I mentioned I'm a mom and a wife, but I'm an energy practitioner. So what that means is that I move energy for a living. So you have like your traditional talk therapist, but then you have energy therapists, which we work in the electromagnetic field, which is around the body, your aura. And so what I believe and lead my life by is that everything that is manifested in the physical body down to like, organs and ailments and illness and disease in the body, mental disorders and emotional disorders all start in the field. And so my specialty is really balancing the body and the mind and the soul from the field, from your aura, through energy healing by way of like Reiki, sound therapy, crystal healing, everything holistic. And so that's kind of where my products came into. I started to research how the senses affect the body and how we can use that to self-heal through just like everyday self-care products. I kind of like bottled up self-care with my products, and that's kind of how everything kind of came together. But yeah, that's who I am.
Yes. Oh my God. I am just smiling because I'm so proud of you. Like,
Thank
I
you so
just
much.
seen and witnessed the growth, like, from, I mean, because you moved a while ago, but even just still being tapped in, like, man, I'm just so proud of you, Key. Like,
Thank
it's
you
just,
so much.
it just is, you wear it on you. So I just
Thank you
definitely
so
want to
much.
give you your flowers with
Oh,
that. I'm
thank
so
you so much.
inspired.
I receive it. Yeah, I receive that. And I think that that is what sets people apart. I think a lot of people feel like people who are in the healing space are perfect, and they're not. And I just want to be transparent about the things that I struggle with or the things that I'm working on or certain challenges. I'm also doing my work. But I also feel like you'll know who's doing the work by the way that they vibrate, by the energy that you feel. It's not just about talking about it or posting the meme or posting the quote. It's about really living. And at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
That no, that's so real. Like, when you are with people, and I'm sure you feel it even more because you are certified and you had the practice to really pull, different aspects of energy. But like, if you go around different people and you feel drained, like it's a certain type of anxiety, or and then the
Mm-hmm.
opposite, you feel happy when you're around this person, and really having that awareness and paying attention to what
Yeah.
that is. And I think that
Yeah.
that's so telling, you know, when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to relationships.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it's important, and that's we all have the ability to detect that, and we all are self healing, and that's just I'm here to spread that word and that mission. That's part of my mission. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally can relate. And that's like a lot of what my book is about. And that's why I made it my duty to put a journey towards wellness and self worth, because I want
yeah,
to be clear that, this is not advice that I'm giving you, it's my perspective. And my perspective includes a journey. Like, I may feel like this with this book. My next book, I may be on some whole other stuff.
come
Like,
on, claim the next. Come on, claim it. I feel that.
you
Yes,
know,
absolutely,
a whole
absolutely,
library.
absolutely. I'm here for the library.
Yes. So what was the transition? So, okay, I would say first, being a fellow braider, like, I understand when it comes to, serving other people,
hmm
being the beck and call. And I mean, it's, what we sign up for. But what was that transition for you, going from that to retiring in that space and now everything else
So
is for you?
that's crazy because I didn't think that I was going to retire when I actually retired. So here's the thing. Words carry vibration, and what you say, like you keep saying it enough and you really put that in the atmosphere to actually happen, right? And so I kept saying, oh, by the time I'm 35, I want to retire. I have been saying that since I was like 28. Like, I don't want to do this forever. You know, by the time I'm 35, I want to retire. That's prior to me even coming to, you know, Atlanta. And so, you know, I'm 34. I was 34, and it was, yeah, I think I was 34 or 33, turning 34. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I probably got a couple more years. So at this point, I'm like literally putting all, like, really, I'm running a rat race because I'm not even really doing what I think I'm doing. But in my mind, I'm like going hard and grinding. And like, I'm doing all these things, but nothing was really hitting for real. You know, it was like, okay, I'm doing this part time, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But it wasn't necessarily connecting in the sense of like, I can lead my life with this. Like, okay, this is cool part time because can this sustain my life? You know? And so, it's just crazy because, I mean, it's not that I like woke up pregnant, but I found out I was pregnant and I was not planning to be pregnant. And because I wasn't planning to be pregnant, I was very upset because I was like, wow, I'm on this journey to retire and this is slowing me down. So I was upset at my fiance at the time, like, oh, why did you do this to me? First of all, blaming, like, why did you do this to me? I'm pregnant.
Like,
I'm not trying to be pregnant. You all in my way. You know, this is in my way.
Yeah.
You know, and I was upset, but I was like, you know what? And like a lot of people don't even know, like at the time that I got pregnant, I wasn't even sure that I would still be in my relationship. Like we were engaged, but we weren't in a great space, you know? And so like I got pregnant and I was like, okay, well, here we go, you know? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just grind. And this is my fourth child. So through every child, I've worked the entire time, you know? So I'm used to grinding. Well, I actually ended up getting diagnosed with placenta previa, which means that like my cervix was like the sac, or the whatever you call it, was over my cervix. So like it was a lot of low pressure, like I was on partial bed rest. So like working wasn't really feasible. Like I was really suffering. I was swelling. And this was like early on. So I was like, okay, like at some point, like I'm not going to be able to do this.
Yeah, like and literally, physically, I can't.
Like physically, I was sat down. I remember even the first few months, 4 or 5 months of my pregnancy, like halfway, I was sick so much. Like I just was sitting around kind of looking at life. And like, it was kind of like this highlight reel. God was taking me through this like highlight reel of all these things. And that's when I really started listening, because I really wasn't filling my time up, you know, like in order to hear God, you got to sit still. And I was physically sat down. So I stopped.
Scripture, be still and know that I am God.
Yep. So I sat, I had to sit. And that's when I just started seeing like, okay, well, I didn't think that I was going to retire at that point, but I was like, I definitely can't do this. Yeah. Okay. So then I stopped braiding early because of that. And then I just got this overwhelming feeling like I just needed to go in. Like I just could not braid anymore. I didn't want to do it. I started getting like a distaste for it. I couldn't imagine myself having yet another child. Now I'm going to have 2 little kids and be braiding. Like I'm not going to be able to do that. Right. So this was like really the beginning of a new version of my faith journey. And pretty much, to make a long story short, I was forced into surrender. Yeah. I realized that I had been operating out of survival mode my entire life, even as a baby. Like I remember different instances and experiences that I experienced in my upbringing. And I didn't really trust that my husband, my fiance at the time, could take care of me. I didn't have a certain respect for, you know, even a man being able to take care of the bills or to even believe in me as hard as he does, as much as he supports me. I really didn't believe that. And I guess God was like, well, if you can't see that, you just have to see. So I really couldn't see it around me. Right. So I don't know what happened. I just told my husband, I was like, I don't want to braid anymore. And he was like, okay, if you do this, like you can't backpedal. Yeah. Once you say this, like you can't backpedal. And I was like, okay.
Accountability partner.
Yes. And I finally said it, and I was like, all right, this is it. And then, you know, it's just kind of been a journey since then. And of course, he superseded my expectations, and he has been taking care of me and with ease, you know, and just I had to step back to allow him to be a man, to allow him to be a partner, to allow that, because when you don't have a foundation, I've never seen a successful marriage in my family. All of the women in my family are, you know, they've been single parents, single mothers. You know, the the foundation was not set for me to have that type of respect for a partner, let alone see that a marriage could work. So when I was pregnant, I was just like, okay, well, since I'm down, let me just go ahead and get married, because I know, like, if I am not pregnant no more, I'm not trying to get married because I'm gonna just be ready to run, you know. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I knew that I was supposed to get married because I have a friend who, she's kind of like my angel on earth, and she was like, I saw you getting married, and I was like, yeah, I know, you know, like, she just sees things for me, and I was like, yeah, I know, and I was like, forget it, we're just gonna get married at the baby shower, boom, we're gonna do it like that. So I
I
did
love
that,
that.
and I'm glad that I did that, because I was just, when you're pregnant, you're in such a vulnerable space. And I was so engulfed in my femininity, you know, in a different way. You know, this is my second child by my husband, but I had never really allowed myself to let go. And so I was so in my femininity that I was able to just be like, okay, I'm going to allow myself to really intertwine and partner in this. But the great thing about my husband is that I don't have to be someone else. I could be me. I can still be this strong, you know, Black woman, but still learn like the duality of partnership. And so, you know, we worked on our relationship, and, you know, we're in such a great space. We got married, obviously. But anyway, to make a long story short, that's kind of what got me here. And I was just like, I'm going to go hard. Like, I'm going to go literally all in. And it doesn't matter if no one else believes in what I'm doing. It doesn't matter if no one else feels like healing is possible. It doesn't matter if no one else takes me serious. I don't care how many times people ask me to braid their hair. This is what I'm going to do, because this is what God told me to do.
Yes.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been plenty of times where I'm like, man, I could just do one head and make like $700.
Listen,
So
that's my
I don't even
thing.
understand why I got to be making all this content. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
I
being
get
keeping
it.
it a buck. You know, like, I want the fast money. But I have a friend of mine. He told me, he's like, but I was telling him my gripe. Like, I just wish that I had that hair money. You know, I just sometimes I could do so much, you know, with it. And he was just like, but you bought back your time. And that, when he said it, like, I'm even getting emotional now. I realized that I bought my freedom by stepping away from hair, stepping away from pleasing others. I really stepped into this mother role that I never had. And
Yeah.
I have been able to really just embody everything that I'm about.
Yeah.
And I just am so grateful. It's still a faith journey, it's still a trust journey, but at the end of the day, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. And I realized I wasn't happy. And there are times where I've talked to my husband and was like, yeah, maybe I'll just take a client, you know, a couple of clients a week. That's cool. And he was just like, I'll do anything to prevent you from braiding again, because you're not the same person. You're not happy when you're braiding. You're not present. You're tired. You're exhausted. You just pass out in your clothes. Like, a lot of people don't talk about that. You pass out in your clothes. You just getting up. You dealing with. You got a customer service. You trying to please people. I was doing hair from home. It's just so many different aspects. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally breaking down your body. It's so many things that people don't talk about from the hairstylist point of view. And my husband was like, I will do anything to not for you to not do that anymore. And I was like, you know what? If you believe in me, if you rock with me like that, I'm rocking with me too. I'm gonna do this too. So here
Yeah.
I am. You know, just
Yeah.
living my life and being happy and being me and being authentic. And that's how I retired. I got physically sat down, but then I consciously made a choice. And then I had the support, but I allowed the support. That's key. Because I've always had the support in this particular relationship and my friends, but I never really allowed anyone to support me, because, you know, survival mode, and not really seeing the women in my family be supported.
Yeah.
And I think that us as women have to be careful, you know, with the words that we speak about maybe not feeling supported, or feeling like, you know, the dating pool has pee and all the things that we be saying, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
ultimately, like, you literally can attract exactly what you need. And it's not that it's perfect. Like, there's a lot of growth spurts that have happened
Nothing
in
is
my relationship, but it was a lot. Healing is really mostly about accountability and then acceptance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just because I mean, I don't even know where to like which to touch on first. I mean, for sure, just relating to the late nights coming home, and man, my ankle has been hurting like hell. My legs, and I just like come home. My dude is like rubbing my ankle and my feet, and he's just like, man. So I get it, and it's like some people will see us having this conversation, right, and will be like, well, I mean, y'all have that skill, and I'm still in the braid world, and you've been in there, and like you mentioned, like the money and stuff, like a lot of braiders, stylists, or just other entrepreneurs would kill to have the clientele that we both you were blessed to have, and
Yeah, but people don't understand for real. And let me say
right.
something. Just like I apologize for cutting you off,
No,
but I
no,
need to
no.
say this because God is really speaking through me. The gift that you're given is a gift, and it's not for you or nobody else to pimp your gift.
Right.
And so that needs to be said. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter about what anybody thinks about the gift that God gave you. And some of our gifts aren't really meant to come into full fruition. Some of our gifts are stepping stones into our real purpose. And so
That's
that's not,
that.
we don't need validation from anybody else. As long as you got God on your side and you're being led by your spirit and by the spirit, it really doesn't even matter because there's so many people would kill to be famous. And a lot of famous people are not happy. So
Hello.
ultimately, you got to be grateful for where you are because it's way more than what it looks like. It's way more. Even what I'm doing now, it's way more than what it looks like. I am a sacred keeper of other people's, things that they're
Duh.
going through. Like I have a whole different view of energy, and so like this is my journey. So I had to realize that it didn't matter what people thought about me or if people felt like, oh, well, you're making all this money. Yeah, like the money is literally energy, and the money that I was making, what it was tied to, wasn't really making me happy because I wasn't even able to smile.
Yeah, or sometimes see it. I mean, we know we're making it, but sometimes
Oh yeah,
to
my
have
pockets definitely had a hole in it for
yeah,
sure. Like,
yeah, like
because it's like,
it's you having the abundance, but you can't see it. You're not able to do the things that you could possibly do. So that's why even with your husband saying, like you say, oh, I want to make this money and I can utilize that hair money for this, and he's like, no, because it doesn't even matter because you're not even able to be in abundance within self to even spend that money the way you want to. It
it's
doesn't
not
even
fulfilling.
align.
It's
It
like
doesn't
empty
even.
calories. It's not fulfilling.
Oh,
It's
I
not
love
fulfilling.
that.
It's not fulfilling. It's just there. Like, and people put so much, like, the way that we as a community exalt money is really sickening
Yeah.
because I understand that money gives you access, but it's not the end all be all. Like the access that you can get by letting God lead your life is so much more than a paper could give you.
Exactly. No, that's facts. And I feel like well, I know that for us specifically, braiding hair is a catalyst. That it was a catalyst for you to step because everything that you've learned with braiding and dealing with
Mm-hmm.
clients, communication,
Mm-hmm.
like everything, every skill that you've learned there, and I'm sure other jobs that you've had in the past has been able to help you succeed also in the space that you're in now. And who's to say where this is going to take you? Like it's all
Yeah.
catalyst, and I feel like that's the beautiful thing when you can realize that and you don't feel
Mm-hmm.
like you have to stay in one place. Like, you know, I knew that braiding hair was not going to be it. So it was like, all right, get a salon. Okay, write a book. What's next? Like, because
Yeah.
I know that braiding hair is not, because I know that I have a bigger mission, bigger purpose, and a bigger
Yeah.
message and vision and all these things, and braiding
Yeah.
hair is the catalyst, building that community, because I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of those clients that you had are tapping into what you're doing now.
Some of them, not as many. I
Yeah,
mean, some
I
of
mean
them.
that's okay, that's okay.
Yeah, some of them, definitely. I think that ultimately, when you're building a brand, you cannot skip on the fact that you need to build brand trust. And it takes people a while to understand, that, you didn't wake up and become a bomb braider. So you're not
Right.
going to wake up and just be an expert at whatever's next. So
Mhm.
like being given grace, you have to give grace to yourself and just allow time, to lead you. But I definitely feel like, yes, some of them have, come to my sound meditations, book energy sessions with me. And some of them, some of my clients are new. A lot of people that sat in my chair was getting free energy work from me. They was getting free therapy from me, and maybe they don't feel like at this particular time, like I'm not worth my price, or they don't feel comfortable coming to me, or whatever it is. I don't even really have a story behind that. But what
Yeah.
I do know is that God told me to do this and that I wasn't for everybody. And I'm cool with that.
Yep.
I'm cool with that. And
Yep.
so I don't want to be for everybody either, because I have to save something for myself and my seeds. So like now I'm teaching others, two other apprentices right now, and I'm opening up, my program next year to teach other people, especially healers of color, because I feel like, one, these are just ancient techniques that were ripped from us and that we have to tap back into. But also, like, when it comes to me referring people out, sometimes I'm not as comfortable referring to people who don't really use the technique that I use. And I'm a multimodality healer, which means that I am certified in so many different things. And so I can literally tailor energy sessions for the client's need, because I'm not just a one dimensional healer. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like I am teaching that and spreading that because I was given a gift to give. Like it, like when God gives you a gift, it's supposed to give. And I think you're supposed to give it out. But also I feel like everybody wants to know what their purpose is. Your purpose is always going to be connected to service, because that's what makes the energy go around. When you think about the figure 8, that's how I view energy. Like there always has to be some type of reciprocation.
I've
So,
been seeing and hearing that a lot lately, and I've always been originally my service has been a lot of it, the people pleasing side of it. But
mhm.
as I built a better relationship with my entrepreneurship lifestyle and my clients and money,
Mhm.
I
Yes.
learned that it is energy. If you put in that good energy when you're doing the service, it looks like maybe a tip, maybe them coming back, but when you come from the spirit of giving, you get abundance anyway. And it should just still come from your heart, not necessarily for the sake of getting anything in return, because it's
Yeah.
going to happen anyway. But I did want to ask you about an example of whatever one that you feel comfortable giving out. Like,
Okay.
what does that look like if I come to you and let's say I'm in a space of you don't have to go in depth because I understand that it's like a therapy session that you do,
Oh yeah, yeah,
a service that you provide. But just to give the people just an example, if I'm coming to you like, hey, I'm in a space of creativity, but I'm also anxious, like what does that look like if that
Okay.
makes sense?
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not a gatekeeper. Like
Hmm.
God really told me, like, listen, you cannot. It's the same thing when you ask me about teaching Brayden. Like, you cannot feel like you're gonna gatekeep the gift,
Right.
because that's not what it's for. And
Hmm.
I also know that a part of my reach is on this platform. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the way that I help others that I'll never really come in close contact with. So
Hmm.
I don't have a problem with like sharing, suggestions. So in this, we'll call it a case study. In
Okay.
this case study, the client comes in, they feel like they're creative, but you said they're anxious about it. So first thing I'm going to think about is I'm going to go and I'll scan their energy, meaning I'll scan it with my hands. Really, before they even come in, I've already prepared the space. So I've already prepared the space, I've already prayed, I've already set the mood. And then when they come in, they'll typically have an intake form, but let's just say they had the intake form and they elaborated. I'll scan the energy, and then I really just go through their energy centers, which are the chakras, to see what the information is telling me. And it's all intuitive. I get different sensations, but also outside of the chakras, you have this aura around you. We all have this energy that we can't see, but that could be felt, or with the trained eye could be seen around you, which is the aura. So I get information from that. And also your meridians, which are your energy freeways. So you have all these little pressure points and energy points in your body that I literally been trained to feel, see, and absorb information. So I'll use things like sound therapy or crystal therapy. I might use aromatherapy and essential oils. We might do meditation, imagery, just so many different things to help the person relax. But also, that is the way I actually move the energy, either through pranic healing or Reiki healing. And so, what it is really just the main difference between talk therapy and this type of therapy is that with talk therapy, you have to kind of like talk through it, and the therapist is trained to kind of get you to see things from a different perspective. What I love about energy healing is it doesn't really require you to do that. I really can just move the energy off of you and just kind of reveal, what is underneath and get you to a space of awareness. Once you get to the space of awareness, whether, even if it's just that one session, I'll be able to give you some type of tips or recommendations to continue that space. But typically people will continue to book and work with me as my client on a regular, and we really just take it one issue at a time, and I tailor the session to their needs. And that looks like, certain own work or homework that I give them to do on their own, because I really don't believe in creating a space of codependency. I believe that we're all self healing. And so it's my job not just to be a healer, but to be an educator to my clients as well. So you're really getting a lot. You're getting the energy movement, but you're also getting the education. And I think that's really important, because then you can go past that on, you know what I'm saying? And that's how you change the world. That's how I feel.
And that's how you hold yourself accountable, because you can
Mm-hmm.
lead someone to water, but you can't make them drink it sometimes. And you did your job to where, I mean, it's like the Bible. The word is there. It's our choice
Mm-hmm.
to have free will to take it upon ourselves to, you know, go by it or not. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love that. And I love what you said about, not one session or recommendation is the same, because,
Everybody's
everyone's different.
different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. Every session is different, when you're with me, And so for me, I just feel like I'm coming from a space of like wanting you to be well, but I'm also just a conduit, meaning that I'm just a channel. Like, I'm not God. Okay. Like, this energy is coming through me for you, right? It's coming out of you and through me, but it's not me, right? So when I step into that mode, like, I'm asking God to go before me and after me and all up and through the session, so that what needs to come up is able to come up. And a lot of people are really surprised when they come work with me for the first time. Like, how do you know this? And I'm just like, like, this is just my gift. This is I mean, I used to have clients come in the house and I'd be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Or like, I'm
Yeah.
clairvoyant, so I get like image. Well, I'm clairvoyant and clairaudient, so I hear or see, and so I'll like see an image, and I would just be like, yeah, like I saw this, and they'll be like, how did you know that? And I'm just like, yeah, it's just something that kind of was natural to me, and then I just polished it up and used it for good.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
love
not
what
really
you
like big on like, even though I do have like oracle readings and stuff like on my site, I'm not really big on like reading the future for people, because honestly, if you're reading the future, that's you anxious anyway. Like, I need you to be in the present experience. So all of my oracle tarot readings always end up with energy and accountability. It ain't even about, will I get this job, or is this the man for me? Because that's not even the question you need to be asking. Maybe like, we need to
Yeah.
be here. How does this benefit you? What does God have for you? And I think
Yeah.
that is important, because a lot of people are so kind of like, their brain is trained to think a certain way when it comes to energy. They
Yeah.
feel like it's evil, or it's witchcraft, or it's against the Bible. And I think that we have to get to a space of research, history, and if you don't even want to go that far, ask God. If you have a question about what I'm doing or you're unsure, I bet you if you ask God, He'll give you the answer. And maybe I'm not the person for you, but you can't just go off of what you heard or what somebody told you. Like, I'm at the space in my life where it's direct communication. I don't need a middleman. Nothing against church or pastors, but I have a relationship with
Right.
God. And so I'm led that way, and I'm spoken to very, very clearly, and I follow instructions.
Yeah. No, and I think that, lately it's been more so than ever that a lot of people are speaking on their relationship with God, not necessarily being religious. They're like, oh, I'm spiritual. And I feel like, you know, we're getting away from the religious, because that's the routine, that's the rules. And a lot of people who grew up in the church who are like super religious don't have that one-on-one relationship with God. And
Well,
so,
because maybe at some point they were. I mean, when you have, I don't have a problem with community. I think that church or
yeah.
like community is great. I just think that outside, in addition to having a community space, you still have to go have that relationship with God. Like you, if you're religious, you should also still be spiritual, because when you go home, or you carry your spirit, it lives within you. So you carry that wherever you go. You know what I'm saying? So you can go to church, but like if you're just going to church to be there and just being filled there, and then the wind is blowing, and then you're just empty and you're not doing any work, you're not cultivating that relationship with God, then it's not really serving its purpose. So it's not to speak against church. I just think that there's more than just sitting somewhere and getting a message through someone who's channeling that message from God. Like we are in a timeline where you have to have your own personal spiritual relationship. You have to. You know what I'm saying? Because us as humans, including me, are flawed.
Yep.
So you
Yep.
can't hold me. I'm not responsible for your healing.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
that's
not
like with
responsible for
COVID.
that.
Like during
Yeah.
COVID, a lot of people who were going to church religiously and that didn't have the relationship with God, you know, personally, it was like, I mean, church was closed down. So they were required to start building that relationship, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a
Mhm.
good thing.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, like you said, it's a necessity, you know.
Hmm.
What was that moment for you, outside of the conversation you had with your husband, but that moment you were like, "Oh my God, this is my journey. Like this is my purpose, at least, for next outside of Braden." Like, was there like a certain moment?
No, it was never a moment. It was always just continuous moments. Like it
Mhm.
wasn't it was continuous confirmation.
Mhm.
So like I am, if anybody's into like zodiacs or whatever, or
Yes.
astrology, I'm an
Aquarius.
Aries. You're Aquarius. I'm an Aries Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Rising. I'm triple fire. So I'm a risk it all, figure it out later type of person.
Yeah.
So a part of that's like a part of my personality. And so like even when moving to Atlanta, like I moved here maybe like 7 months after meeting my husband. So like with my two children, I just like I'm out of here. So not that it was easy, but I just always been like a risk taker.
Yeah.
I think because I felt like I had nothing to lose and too much to lose at the same time. And I feel like throughout my entire journey, even from the most challenging years of my life thus far, God was just always there. So it was never like, even, I mean, I like to call it that I had like suicidal like ideology. Like I was fascinated with the need to escape, right? So like I saw things in my childhood that implanted that in me, and so when things got really hard, I mean, I contemplated that a few times, even having children, and I didn't feel like my children were really enough to keep me here on earth, but God was. That voice was gentle, but it was stronger than the need for me to be here for my children. And when you have such like a deep and intimate relationship and really a foundation, I think that there's always going to be continuous moments of like confirmation, to keep you going. Every time I feel like I want to give up or it's not worth it or I'm unsure, God shows improved always. So I mean, I think it was just continuous moments that continue to guide me, like every time something kind of presents itself or an experience presents itself, it's always some form of confirmation for, that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing or that I'm in alignment. And let me just say something for the people who use the word alignment. Alignment doesn't mean that everything's going perfect.
Right. No, for
alignment
sure.
alignment means
Yeah.
I feel like we have free will, so you have all these different paths that you could take. But I feel like when you're in alignment, you're on the path of like maybe least resistance. That's how I like to describe it. So you're on the path that's going to get you probably there at the timeline that maybe God wants you to get there. But you can always choose, another path. So
Other
I think I
way.
would have ended up here regardless of an aha moment or not. I just think I'd like to say I chose like level 8, like maybe somebody chose level 2, but I chose level 8. Sometimes I wonder why I chose, this way. But too much is given, much is expected. And, I've had already, like, I'm just at the beginning. I know that I'm just at the beginning in my life. Like, I have already had a big payoff in my life, just of being able to achieve happiness and to even be able to transmute energy from the, toxic relationship with my mother and seeing the way that I mother and being able to see me really stop and really cut a generational curse and trauma in real time. There's nothing greater than to see myself stop something that could have continued with me. There's nothing greater than to see me be the mother that I never had. There's nothing greater to see me love a man like I've never seen. There's nothing greater than being loved genuinely like I'm loved. I already have my payoff. So I'm so willing to give because I'm so fulfilled.
Mm. I, I'm just so proud of you, and I can. It's just you wear it on you. You
Yeah.
see it on you. You see it through your content. You see it through your products, and that's why I was just so like willing to just be like, let me ask Keith because
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm so proud of you. I'm so inspired to. I mean, for so many reasons, especially being in the position as a braider and knowing that okay, it's like that constant confirmation of like, you're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be here. And I love my clients dearly, and I'm
And
grateful for the
I miss
position.
them actually. I miss some
Yeah,
of them for real.
yeah, but you know, it goes back to just being that vessel, use vessel for that moment, as far as their stylist. Now you have to go serve somewhere else. We're not meant to serve one place the whole time. And
Yeah.
I know that I have a whole nother mission to tackle. And I'm inspired by seeing you just jump out on faith and do that. And like you say, it wasn't easy. And I'm in full understanding of that because I know what you mean by that because I've transitioned in different things so many times. So I know what you mean. But just to see it on you outside of along with you making the decision, it's like I know that it's true and I know that you are on the right path. And
Well, this
I
is
just
even
really
confirmation for me for you to say that you see it on me or you feel it, because I don't really know how other people perceive me.
yeah,
I don't really know how I'm received. I
yeah,
just give and I do what I'm told to do. But I appreciate you affirming me in that way because I never, people say here and there, but like to see, to know you for so long and then for you to say you could literally see, like, I just think that that's beautiful and
mhm,
all praises are due to God. It's not me. But I just want to thank you for even saying that because even in this conversation, that's confirmation for
right,
me,
yeah, yeah. No, no, that's man. I'm getting emotional because I like you said, I didn't even know that that was the worst time of your life when you said that, and it didn't even look like it.
That was the
So
worst time.
you don't wear the struggle on you. You don't
Yeah.
wear the bad times on you. So you were already in this awareness of energy before you even known it.
Yeah. But
Like
I
you
think
didn't
it
come to my mom's
transmuted.
house. You
I
didn't
really,
come to your appointment like
yeah.
all, like bad energy and you
Yeah.
didn't have that on you. I wouldn't have known that till you said that just now.
Well, I think I had the gift of pretending, like I had the gift of masking what I was going through,
Hmm.
and so maybe other people couldn't tell, but I could tell, and maybe that's why you feel it so differently now. I've never been someone that was just mean, but like I was depressed, severely anxious, in a, domestic violence relationship, a single mom of two, car repossessed, you know what I'm saying? Like broke, like scraping pennies out the couch, I remember having like to come, I didn't have no money. And I remember working a job but like not having any money and like having like ground turkey but no seasoning. Like I didn't even have 99 cents to go get any seasoning. Like I've been low.
Yeah.
I've been homeless with my two kids, sleeping from couch to couch, and people even not extending me grace in that space. So like, I think I just like I said, it was a point in time where like my kids wasn't even enough,
Yeah.
but God did.
Yeah.
God did.
He did, girl. He
Yeah.
did. He did. Oh man, I'm so proud of you. I
Yeah.
mean, I want to do a part two one day, just so
Yeah,
I
we
can like
can.
go
Yeah,
in
go,
depth on some
go.
more
I would
stuff.
love to go. I think a lot of people that I have been vulnerable enough to share my story before getting comfortable with my story would tell me like you need to write a book or you need to talk about this, and I just wasn't in a space because like you can't really talk about wounds that are still very fresh and deep, and I'm still uncovering because this is a lifestyle and it's a journey. So
Yeah.
I'm still uncovering, and as I dig deeper, once I get to that place of acceptance, I'm able to share. But I don't mind sharing where I come from because it's my testimony. And without it, God wouldn't be able to show that power. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't mind sharing the details because this is my life and it's my work, you
Yeah.
know, and everything, you know, the Bible says like all things come together
Yeah. They do.
and they all come and they're still coming together, you know, and I think that if I could say anything to anybody, it's just like I was talking to my friend today and she was just saying like you never know what tomorrow holds, you know. And so I think that if you could just take it moment by moment, sometimes you don't can't take it day by day, but if you could just take it moment by moment and really lock in, you know what I'm saying, with just trying and effort, I think that God will lead you. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a lot of things that I've had to transmute within myself. It ain't been about other people. Like even earlier this year, I felt like I was on a whole apology tour, you know, for just certain ways that I acted towards people, the way I mishandled people. Even though I felt the way that I felt, I saw that there are different ways that I could have conducted myself, you know? And it wasn't about getting that validation. Some didn't forgive, some didn't accept, but I did what God told me to do.
Yeah.
And the way
You
that
gotta get
my
it off
heart
of
is
you. You gotta get it off of you.
so clear, but I didn't even do it thinking I'm just trying to clear my heart. I was really apologetic. But
Yeah.
when I didn't, when some of the responses I didn't get, like God was fulfilling that space. So I didn't feel a void or I didn't worry about people pleasing because I knew that I was doing what I was supposed to do. And so
Exactly.
like I feel like you just gotta die to yourself daily, die to your ego daily because like pride is before destruction. So just being humble, you know, and being vulnerable. If you can't be vulnerable with anybody, you could be vulnerable with God, you know, and just being positive because it's so easy, especially with social media, to be negative or to think pessimistic, like to be pessimistic. But I think that, you know, it's just a choice,
Yeah.
honestly. It's just a choice. And I am so grateful that I held on
Yeah.
because if I would have taken my life, I wouldn't be right here, you
That's right.
know. And I just see so much value in who I am and what I have to offer. And, you know, we're all passing through. We're not
Yeah.
going to be here forever. So I pray that my legacy and that everything that I stand for will heal people that I'll never meet physically.
Yeah. And it
That's my,
will, because you made the choice. And a lot of
yeah.
times just making that choice is inspirational. Like I said, I've been inspired by the
Yeah.
moment that I saw you retire. That was like, wow, because it gave me the confidence to what that looks like. Because I mean, I still have my, you know,
Let
the
me also say that I didn't retire with a whole bank balance. I retired
yeah,
with $0. Let's say that too. Like
you
I
know,
didn't,
and what,
because
and then
I,
that
you know,
makes a whole difference too, right there, because that's falling, that's just
I
jumping off
retired
for
with
real.
$0 in bad credit. Let's actually talk about
Yeah,
it. So,
but it was the choice to no matter what the situation was, you knew like you knew like you knew, and you made that choice, and it inspires people like myself, and I'm sure so many others, but me specifically, that I can speak for myself, that I know that this is not it for me. I know that I don't belong behind the chair. I know that, but seeing you, sometimes we need to see have model behavior. You know, we need to
mm,
see, and so me seeing it, it gave me a confidence of like, oh, this can happen, like for real, because you feel like, oh, you gonna kind of do this to some type of capacity, for a long time, or you can't see anything past it when it comes to financial freedom. So yeah, I just
But
thank you.
if my action of retiring, even the way it happened, inspired you to do that, to write this book, to do these lives, then I know God is like, job well done. Like if I only
Yeah,
inspire one person, if I've only touched you, then my mission is complete.
yeah, because I mean, it was like, again, just to see that example, that representation matters. And I know
Yeah.
your story. I've seen what you've posted. I've known you, and stuff. So I knew that it was possible. And so it prompted me to be like, okay, what other things that you are. I mean, I have my hands in so many things. I'm an entertainment publicist, now an author.
Yeah.
So it's like I have those other avenues, but what's that thing, that legacy, that purpose, that, like you said earlier, to really make your mark, to say, for God to say, job well done. All the other stuff is just other stuff sometimes. But
It's
what is what's
boundaries. It's boundaries too. Like
Yeah,
boundaries are key. And it's not just boundaries with other people, it's boundaries with yourself. Like you have to have a no nonsense, like no tolerance for anything that's getting in your way.
yeah,
You got to be able to take experiences that are meant to challenge you and transmute them for good. You got to be able to see the awareness. You got to be, peace is not everything still.
right.
Peace is exemplified when it's chaos around you, when you're unmoved, you're
Listen,
unshaken, and you're rooted down. And so, you got to know that when you're asking for this or you're wanting to step into purpose, or, your calling or whatever that may be, that like it's not just going to be given, like it's something that's worked for. And
yeah,
so, like the peace that you see or that you feel from me is because everything that could have happened,
yeah,
like, and anything that's on the way, I know that I am created to, be victorious,
yeah,
so boundaries with certain friends, having to cut off relationships. I mean, I don't have a great relationship with my mother, boundary with that, boundary with, even comparison syndrome or imposter syndrome. Like all of this is about the work that's done behind the
that's another
scenes,
live right there.
because Instagram is not real.
Yeah,
Like there's only so much that I can contain my light for Instagram.
yeah.
Like, and you'd have to feel it to really understand where I'm coming from.
Oh, I
There's
do.
only so many ways I could describe what I've experienced. Instagram is not real. I'll say that again. It's not real. It's just
Yeah.
a reel of highlights. And I
Hello.
try to be as transparent as possible, but it's only so much you can do. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? So I think that our best bet, our best option is to live this life and inspire others like I've inspired you or whoever else. And you've inspired me as well with writing your book and all that. And take that and just spread that to others.
yeah. No, man, before we go, I did want to say, when you said peace is not just when everything is going so well, it's that
No.
chaos. When the world was in, my reminder to myself of what that looks like is when the world was going through chaos of the pandemic, didn't know, that's when I got my salon. And that's what
Oh,
something
yeah.
I remind myself of, just like, no, you took it a whole nother way. You didn't conform to what the world was saying, the
Yeah.
energy and the frightening,
The
my
fear.
the fear,
Hmm.
exactly, none of that, and so that was an example for myself that I remind myself when I'm in, a place where I'm not at peace. It's like, well, girl, you did that in the midst
And
of
I'm proud of you for
chaos.
that. And I wanna leave you with something. I wanna say that don't don't minimize what's already been done in your life.
Yeah.
Don't silence your voice. Don't doubt yourself, because you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
And whatever you claim in your world, it don't matter what the outside world is doing, because whatever you want, can be manifested, can happen because of your desire and your in God's will. So I just want to say, like, your book, it might save somebody's life. It might inspire them to keep going. And like, I know that I'm so proud of you. And I just want you to, I saw YouTube with you talking to your mom, and like the way that you blessed her in different ways and just paying that back to your mom, like just watching that inspired me because like I don't know if I'll ever get the opportunity with my mother, but I know that I'm able to have that relationship with my children, so like it, what my desire was something that I've never seen. But just like you said, when you see the model behavior just through that one YouTube video I saw, this is way before you asked me to be on the live, I was able to see like, well, this is possible. It's for a daughter to love her mother so much that she'll just give back to her, that she will affirm her, give her flowers, want to make her proud. Like, I saw that through just that one conversation. So I just don't want you to be at a space where you wondering if anybody hear you or see you, because I see you. I
Yeah.
see you.
Oh, girl, you gonna make me cry? Cause yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
see you, and I'm
I
proud of that.
I needed
You
to
know?
say that. I mean, we don't talk every day. We're not the closest, but it's like we sisters. I see you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
see each other, and to know that that's our relationship, and you see that, and you said that without even really knowing kind of what I'm even thinking, but that's that work that you do.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. But you know what? Your mom, when you was braiding my hair, those two braids, your mom was there. You was in your mom's house.
Yep.
She always seemed to be supportive. I don't know the story, to be honest. I don't know what you guys have gone through, but I see the way you honor her, and I see who you are, and I know that has to do with the way she raised you. And so I'm just happy to see in our community that with so many mother wounds that are bleeding out so profusely in this time, that there is wellness in the mother daughter space.
For sure.
So keep spreading that. Keep spreading that.
Mm. Thank you, Key, for your
You're welcome.
time. Oh my God. Before this live cuts off, because I do not want us to be in the middle of some greatness and it just cuts, what is something that you can just give people to just take away to step into the end of this evening and for the rest of the week with?
Okay, so I think what I want to just dispel is kind of like the energy around balance. I think everybody is trying to find balance and find peace. And I think that we have to just change our relationship with what that means. We have to be willing to let go of the things that are hindering us. We got to we got to prioritize what's most important. And God, and you're going to always be first before your to-do list. So I would like to leave with the audience today, like whatever you have to do within the next 7 days. Actually, you can join my text list. I sent this activity out through my text list. But
What's
you
the
can
name?
you can join my text list at the link in my bio. You could just literally click the link and add your number. I send out texts and like motivational stuff a couple of times a week. But really, what I wanted everyone to do is just this really quick balance activity. So I'm gonna share with y'all real quick. So a lot of times we feel overwhelmed and we're over analytical, right? Because we have so many things to do and we're trying to do all. We're not really in the flow, and the flow and that feminine energy is about being, right? There's a balance that needs to happen there. So to bring in more flow this week, I would like for you to take a piece of paper. On the right side of the paper, I'd like you to write your to-do list, everything that you feel like you have to do from, what is this, Wednesday? From Wednesday to Wednesday. Write everything down on the right side. And then I want you to pick three things that are the most the priority, right? Put them on the left side and just focus on that. You'll notice how much lighter you feel because you're not energetically carrying. The writing exercise is to actually release what is cycling through your mind because your brain is going so much, right? So we can really bring balance just in a moment with that simple exercise. And allow ourselves to feel lighter, right? And then just focus on those three. right? And the other things will happen, but I think that has been an activity that I've been doing lately for myself because it's made and created space for joy. I think we wait for these aha moments, or we wait for these moments that solidify that we've made it to peace or made it to joy instead of infiltrating balance and joy and peace in our everyday experience. So like y'all been seeing, I've been like posting my I'm no dancer, by the way, but like posting my TikToks, and like every like evening I'm making space to be present with my family. So that if this is my last day here breathing, that I'm going out the way I want to go out, which is it with happiness and love and joy surrounding me. So whether that looks like taking a self-care bath every night, these mother ain't stopping me, okay?
That
we
part,
back at it.
we gonna figure this out.
We back at it. We back at it.
We back at it.
We back at it. Hold on, leave my little filter on. There we go. We with the vibes, so yeah. Yeah, so like I was saying, like whether that looks like creating a self-care moment for you, like unplugging from social media or whatever that looks like over the next 7 days, like, you know, I think that that's important to achieve, like strive towards goals and balance every day. Like, why are you waiting for these experiences, or why are you waiting for these moments to happen to solidify your experience? Because tomorrow's not promised. We don't know when our last day is here. So I feel like it's important for us to cultivate joy right now. You know, find balance right now. Whatever that looks like, it's going to look different for everybody. You know, it's not going to always look like you sitting on the mat meditating. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe you're a mom of four like me and you are juggling dinner and orders and lives and phone calls and emails. But whatever that is, just make sure that it's benefiting you and that you're comfortable in that particular space. So the writing activity, for those who are joining back, it was just for you to write everything that you have to do from this Wednesday, from this moment to next Wednesday. So everything that you plan to do on the right side of the paper. On the left side, take 3 things from that list on the right side and just focus on those 3 things for the next 7 days. That should allow you some time to create for yourself, because we have to create the space for ourselves to flourish, to find balance, peace, and joy.
Yeah. Okay, well, since we got a little bit of time,
yeah.
Do you have some time?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I want to play a little game with you really quick.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so my book, New Growth, I have 8 chapters. So I chose 8 chapters because 8 is the number of new beginnings, and I just felt that this was
in abundance.
Hello. And my life path number is 7, so it was like completion. Now I'm like, I'm on number 8. I'm on new beginnings, abundance. I'm like accepting the new growth, newness, like everything new, all things new. So when I say the chapter's name, if you can, however it relates, however you relate to it.
Okay.
You know, it can be something short, just like I'm saying the chapter, and then whatever first comes to mind.
Okay, perfect. I'm ready. Ooh, a game. This is exciting. Okay.
Okay. Chapter 1 is called Stop the Silence. What does that mean?
Use your voice. Speak up. Your voice is your vibration. Your voice has power. Use your voice. Don't be silent. Stop the hesitation and just speak up. Say what you got to say and be who you truly are. Use your voice. Your voice is your tool. It's one of the greatest things God has given you. It's actually a creative energy center too. So outside of your sacral, your voice is your creation. You know, God spoke things into existence, and so can you.
That part. I love you, Key.
Love you too.
It's freedom from bondage.
Wow. Freedom from bondage. Wow. So I think that for this, it means that if you are the person who has chosen, you're chosen, and you've chosen to be free from generational patterns, trauma, know that that might not be easy, but what do they say? Like they say, you know, crabs are like in a barrel, right? But Jay-Z said, why are the crabs in a barrel? They belong in the ocean. So I think that you should change your perspective and know that no matter what, you're not just doing it for the direct lineage in front of you, but you're doing it to release those after you out of that bondage, just like our ancestors did for us when it came to like the slave trade and the civil rights movement. So for me, I feel like when you choose your chosen, know that you're also choosing freedom, and just break free and keep running. You know, just keep running.
I love that quote. Was that in a song or he just said it during the interview?
In an interview, yeah,
He always dropping gems, man.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, chapter 3, belief beyond what you've been through.
mm. I think that this relates to, faith is the evidence of things unseen. It's the act of literally not seeing it, but being able to imagine it. So I think that we can't minimize our ability to see what we want to happen. And I think that just reminds me that even if you can't see it, if you could think it, or you can imagine it, or you can dream it, you can bring it into fruition. So you're going to believe, even if everything ain't lining up or it's not in alignment, you have to believe past that. Because honestly, that's the way you expand for that more. You have to expand yourself for more.
Mm, yes. Chapter 4, fear for what?
Fear for what? I mean, I told you guys I'm a triple flyer. So um, one of my really great friends told me to put fear in the passenger seat. That fear couldn't drive my journey. And since you told me that and shared a book, I can share it with you. I forgot the name of it, but the book is pretty much about putting fear in the passenger seat. And it's not that it's not there. I think that's what people need to understand. It's not that it's not there. You're just not, you have a boundary. You're not allowing it to drive. You sit fear in the passenger seat and you take the wheel. So, I mean, fear for what? You know?
What? Fear for what? Okay. Chapter 5, cup half full.
Wow. I think coming from the place that I come from, I've always seen my family look at things from a half empty cup. Um, I find solace in knowing that I'm pouring in mine and that my kids will always have not even half full running over. So I think I'm grateful to be in this space. And now, even when challenges come, I'm looking for the lesson, but I'm also looking at what I can gain from it versus what I'm losing, even when it feels like I'm losing. So I think it's just perspective and mind shift for real. And that is literally, my friends in here, Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. That's the fear book. That's the book. Thank you, Katrina. And I think that we have to really understand that, when we think about things in a pessimistic way, we're calling and willing that into our life. But if you can see the opportunity versus the obstacle, that is where the magic really happens. Because you're a creator. You're the creator of your life, right? So you can make something. I make something out of nothing every day. Every day.
Every day.
Every day. And everybody can do that.
Yep. Yep. I mean, it's so funny you say that because I was just having a conversation with my boyfriend about that. Like, from the perspective as a braider, and it just correlates so much. But,
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to investing in yourself, like the way that you are with your products and stuff like that,
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
as a braider, we literally create something out of nothing because we don't have to make a big investment on something. Like, it's literally our hands and product,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And when you're
And
trained,
practice makes perfect. So you practice it and you perfect that.
yeah, yeah. But now stepping into, a space where now you're investing in yourself in so many ways,
Mm-hmm.
it just looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Chapter 6, owning new emotions.
Ooh, this is good. Owning new emotions. I'm in that space right now. I'm I'm in a space where I'm becoming okay with not identifying with my trauma. That's not my identity. Um, I'm giving myself permission to feel joy. And I'm learning that everyone's not a part of my joy. And I think that it's important that when you set boundaries, you accept all that comes with. So I'm in a space right now where I've set an extreme boundary, um, despite what other people may think, in my personal life or with my family. And I'm owning it. And a quick story, this happened like a week or two ago. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, she's like, she had been telling me like, Mom, you look pretty today. I'm just like, I'm not really like dressed, but I'm just around the house. And we were on my way to my office, and I was going to teach a class. And she was like, I know I keep telling you, but you look really pretty.
Oh.
And I said, well, thank you, And she's like, it's just that you feel lighter. It's just that you seem happy. And I'm happy that you're happy, and I'm happy that you feel this way. So
Wow.
that's success. So I'm owning new emotions and owning that the work that I'm doing is successful right now,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of myself. I've never really been proud of me, but I'm proud of me for doing the work, and that's new for me. So that's where I'm at. I'm actually at that space. What chapter was that?
That's chapter 6.
So that's where I'm at. I'm on chapter 6, y'all. I'm
Yeah.
owning new emotions, and very grateful that it's felt by my children.
Yeah. No, I mean, because you are the conductor of your household. I mean, your husband has his very important role, but women, we guide, we set the
And we
tone,
nurture.
we nurture, so where if you are happy that you're radiant.
And
Like,
what you have to understand is when you come from a place of you've never really been nurtured.
yeah,
You've nurtured yourself from so young, and you weren't necessarily doing it the correct way. You maybe didn't have the skill or the knowledge to nurture, but you had to do it by force.
yeah,
You have a skewed way, and maybe even a toxic way of what you think nurturing is. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So to redefine that, to step into a new emotion or a new mindset of what nurturing looks like, what that feels like, what that feels like within you and outside of that. I feel like it's a new space. It's uncharted waters, but I know that God placed me here, and so like I get so much joy, and I'm so happy when I see my kids fulfilled. I shared on my story today about how my daughter wanted me to do her hair last minute for picture day, and like and when I grew up, it was like, don't be asking me, you know what I'm saying? But I
yeah,
was just like, I'm not even going to do that. I know that this is connected to her self-esteem, and we just talked about the importance of expectations and taking the path of least resistance and understanding that she deserves flow and ease in her life. So she can speak up and use her voice and let me know what she needs so that this doesn't have to feel like a burden, or she doesn't have to overthink or wait to the last minute or even wrestle in her mind about being over analytical and making decisions. All of that came out of that one, situation. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm definitely in a new space for sure.
yeah, and it's stepping into that full feminine energy. I mean, we carry masculine too, but that
Hmm.
feminine energy is being in a space to receive love, flow,
Yeah, yeah,
softness, grace, all of that.
yeah,
And yeah, no, I love that your daughter affirmed you in that way.
yeah, yeah,
Kids are so innocent, and they see nothing but the purity of things. So for her to just see that and call that out and have the verbiage too, it's just beautiful. And that's all from just her watching you,
yeah,
knowing how to identify that,
yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
Oh
Hmm.
man. Chapter 7 is to be loved.
Ooh, to be loved. Oh, being loved is such a beautiful feeling. And I'm not talking about relationships or children. I'm
Yeah.
talking about the love of God, that agape love.
Mm,
So whether you're single or you're with someone or you have children or it's just you and God, I think that you can bask in that type of love because it's infinite. It doesn't end. It doesn't have any cap. You can't do nothing wrong. You can't upset it. It's just there. It's a well. It's a healing well. It's abundant. It's boundless. Like the love of God, I can't express it enough. Like being loved and truly allowing myself to be loved by God. I feel that in the physical space with people, but I definitely feel it so deeply through my spirit, and it's something that I can't really explain in words. But I'm so happy that I allowed that in.
yeah. No, it feels it feels pure, it feels soft, it feels like
It's literally
you're,
filling. Like you could
yeah,
get
like you're
full off of
smiling
it.
without even knowing it. You're,
Yeah, yeah,
like it's just
yeah,
wow, it's radiant. Like you get
yeah,
like chills,
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
In chapter 8, first class.
Ooh, okay. First class. Listen, I'm calling in everything in my life, okay? Like,
Yeah.
I'm calling in being able to take a trip whenever I want to. I'm calling in my business doing what it needs to do. I'm calling in my employees, my team, my warehouse, my storefront. I am worthy of first class. I'm worthy. Somebody said multiple streams of peace. Yes, I have hats. I'm worthy of multiple streams of peace.
That
I'm
part.
curating that, and I'm worthy of top tier treatment in every aspect of my life. I don't have to lower myself or lower my vibration or change my frequency to appease others. And I want everybody else to know that's what luxury means. Luxury to me is just peace. It's having the ability to achieve peace and to have that and to spread love whenever and however. That's what luxury means to me. It's unfortunately it's luxury because so many people don't utilize that or they're not there at that space right in the state of the world. But I believe we're all worthy of that,
Yeah.
and it's something that money just cannot buy.
Yeah. I
First
mean, it takes
class.
a level of confidence to experience that luxury because we all can experience, but do you have the confidence to say, hey, I'm about to apply for this, new condo, or I'm about to buy this new ticket, or I'm
Or
about to
let's talk
invest
your
in
book. I
myself?
don't know how much your book is, but like what I like in my entrepreneurship journey, I'll be like, okay, like my candle, my big candle right here is $45. I'm like, oh, that might be too much, but guys, like, no, this is the price it's supposed to be. This is the brand, So it's just about knowing what you're worth
Yep.
and not worrying about who's going to buy it or who has something to say about it, following that instruction, but knowing that like that keeps you at that top tier status, that keeps you at like people don't even know. The thing is, even luxury brands out here, they only became luxury because people bought into it. It
Yeah.
has nothing to do with not it's and quality too, obviously. But sometimes some things are expensive because people said that that's what it's worth, and
Yeah.
they made you
The
believe that it's
name.
what it's worth.
Just slap a
Yeah.
name.
So luxury in all aspects through my business, not being afraid to, talk about my products being, first class or top tier and believing in that. And also following that, even as a braider, I would tell my students, like you could charge $500, $400, whatever you're going to charge for your braids, but you got to make sure that you match that energy. You cannot be giving $200 braids for a $500 price. So same thing with a candle. I'm not going to give you a $10, you know what I'm saying, for 45. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just knowing, like honestly, to wrap, like just anything that you put your energy into should be luxury. Period. Like you should be literally providing quality.
Yeah.
And first class for me is like, also it represents like I'm in the front seat of my jet to my abundance, you
Yes.
know? So yeah.
Oh, yes. I love it.
Instead of resisting, because I've
Yeah.
learned about resisting, I just buckle me up, hand me my wine, and let me just let God work because because
That
I
part.
can't fly the plane. I'm not a pilot, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I'll be
just
chilling,
let God
keeping my
flow.
feet up in full grace. Okay.
Yeah, grace,
I love
grace. That's
it.
actually what this candle says. It says God, grace, gratitude.
Look at that. Now that's
Yeah,
alignment right there.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God. Okay, so the last thing I'm gonna ask you, and then just end with I mean, they can follow you, they see your Instagram, but just
Yeah,
other
yeah,
ways they can
yeah,
tap in. But my
yeah.
last question is, what are you dreaming about these days?
I'm dreaming about vacation. So in literal sense, I'm dreaming about getting away with my husband. We hit 1 year of marriage on Sunday, but we have a little baby. Thank you. We have a little baby, so we're not really able to travel right now, just because, I've just stepped in the fullness of mothering, and I just don't want her to be left alone right now. Without
Yeah.
me, she's still very well attached to me. So I'm dreaming about, sipping lemonade in the shade, literally, and trying to create that vibe in some way. But I'm dreaming about, in a faith-based sense, I'm dreaming about being able to take care of my family off of my business. retiring my husband and having him work for me,
That's beautiful.
creating jobs for other people that I can sustain their families on.
Yeah.
I'm dreaming about getting more so that I can give even more out.
Amen. And you got it. You got it. Just you already know. You already know how to do this. Staying
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
Being in abundance, being in purpose, speaking when you know it's time to speak. And I mean, you gave us a few words,
Yeah.
tonight, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. I'm sure everyone who's tapped in appreciate it. I'm gonna
Yeah.
save the live so they can tap back in and see if they
Thank you.
can get this work.
Yes.
So just tell
Yeah.
people how to tap in. I know you mentioned the text message
Yeah, so
system.
I pretty much made it simple for y'all. You can go to the link in my bio. You can literally sign up for emails. You can sign up for my text thread. I promise I don't spam you with a whole bunch of things. I probably send like one, maybe two things out a week, mainly just motivational things, but I also send out like coupons and discounts here and there too. But typically I'll like pull a card for the week or like set the tone for the week, or if God drops something on my spirit, I'll text it. So a lot of people love that. We have like, I think 100 and maybe 20 people on the text list right now. So I appreciate you guys. If you join and be my tech subby. So all that's in my bio. My website's in my bio as well. If you have any questions about energy healing, I do offer free consultations to just talk more about what that looks like and what that is. If you have any direct questions, feel free to DM me. I'm reachable. I'm accessible. And my website is www.meishon.org. You can find all of my products there that are healing to the body, mind, and soul, and created to calm and relieve your nervous system through natural and tangible self-care products. You can also find more information about me there, my services, and yeah, if you're in the Atlanta area, or actually, even if you're not, I'm doing a sound meditation November the 12th, and I am selling virtual tickets as well. It's my last one of the year, so tap in and enjoy sound therapy, even if you've never felt it before. It's beautiful. It helps you relax. You can achieve just a peaceful Zen state. So that's what my sound meditation. That's my website. My website has everything. Link in bio to text me. Um, Follow me. Follow my key.meishon. My shop is shopkey.meishon. Follow me on TikTok, key.meishon. If you want to see me dancing, acting crazy with my kids, follow me on TikTok. And just tap in with me. I follow back. Follow me. I follow you back. I really don't follow anybody on my shop because it's kind of like the business page. But if you follow this page, I will follow you back. I love to communicate via DM. I've met so many friends on social media. So definitely tap in with me if you checked into this live and follow me. I promise I'll follow you back, and just keep spreading the good news of wellness and self-care and making yourself a priority, and God, and all things just joy. So thank you. And buy Sade's book, because I'm copying it. Buy her book. Follow her. For all of you guys that came from my page, follow her. She's good people. I'm vouching for her. I love her. I'm proud of her. And this was just such a good live.
It was. Oh my God. It was. I'm gonna go back and watch it
Yeah,
again.
I gotta
Just
go
to
back
see.
too, because I feel like God be speaking. I'll be like, let me go see what you were saying, because I don't be
No,
remembering.
for real. I just experienced that. I was like, yo, I gotta see what I was saying, because I just felt like he had my I was going.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
right, last question, because I'm sure some people are wondering. Do you offer virtual sessions for your energy healing?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I want you guys to know that energy bends space and time, meaning that nothing can stop you from getting this work. Okay, so like you literally, just like if someone calls you and they could change your energy based off that phone call, it's the
Okay.
same way with healing. So you can do our virtual sessions are a little bit cheaper because the experience is a little bit different than in person, of course, but they're still very, very much effective. I'm still very supportive. And you can still do the sound therapy. I pretty much explain everything that I'm doing. And I have a lot of great feedback from virtual sessions. I have clients from all over, the country tapping in with me virtually. And then some people fly in and they're like, hey, can I get a session? So they'll come through while they're here. But yeah, don't let me being in Atlanta stop you from this type of therapy. I'm more than willing to assist you and service you to, your wellness through virtual healing as well. So distance healing is a thing and it works. Just like you could talk to your therapist. We learned that distance, that
Right.
Zoom was it. We learned that in the pandemic. So
Yeah.
understand that that's still very much a thing, and it does work.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you, Key, so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody
Yeah.
who tapped in from the first
Yes.
live who jumped to this live.
Yeah, we just need a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I want to show people that, like, being a healer or being someone who's putting wellness at the forefront, it looks like me, it looks like you. I'm relatable, I'm a real person. I
Right.
deal with some of the same things you deal with. I'm not holier than thou. I'm not high and you're low. We're just all energy and frequency. And so I just wanted to, my mission is just to spread it and just make it relatable. And
Yeah.
I want everybody to understand what it is and that you can literally be yourself, you actually are your truer self. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, you're definitely showing it. You're showing it. I mean
Thank
that.
you.
I mean that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, have a great night. Everybody
You too.
follow, follow,
Thank
follow,
you. Thank
follow,
you.
tap in, go to the website, text thread, everything. New Growth the
Yay.
Book is available on newgrowththebook.com. You can order the signed copies. I have a 2-for-1. So if you want to get two for one price and give one to a friend, I have that
Holiday
available.
time is coming. Yes, that's a great gift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. Yes. All right. Well, love you, girl, and have a good
Love
night.
you. Bye,
Bye, you guys.
y'all.